I thought I'd do like a little bit of a final thought about the whole trip to New York with Mum. I've had a little bit of time to think about it now after being back for a little while, and I think part of the reason why I wanted to film some of it anyway was more just I wanted to make a video for Mum so that later when she forgets she will be able to remember all the things that we did because I've made a video and there's evidence, and also for me to sort of cherish some of those memories. And excuse me, and it's weird to talk about because I'm really glad I did it, but ultimately it was a little bit traumatic, really. I don't think I realised how bad it would be, because I think when you have dementia, it's like you have these like certain things in place, like you have the habits that you have within your own home, and you know where everything is and you don't really have to think about it. Whereas I kind of took Mum completely outside of her comfort zone to somewhere she'd never been before. And once all that was sort of stripped away, it became really, really obvious how bad she is. And just how confused she can get. Because whereas before, when family's around and all these things are sort of going on, it's kind of easy for her to sort of slip into the background, and you know, you don't really know what she's thinking or what she's feeling, but it was just me and her. And yeah, she was really confused by a lot of things. I mean, I think I had to explain to her, yeah, like 10, 20 times that I don't live in America, or then she was getting confused that she was in the UK, or like when's Dad coming to come and pick her up and things like that. And just, yeah, that was quite, but you know what, it isn't even just the memory side of it, it's just, it's like common sense kind of goes out the window as well. It's really odd. It's like you can't retain information in the same way. So when we were waiting at Heathrow to get on the plane, she like needed to go to the toilet, and I was only taking like cabin bags, so we had all these cabin bags because I didn't want to mess around the other side because we weren't there for long. And so I was like, oh, the toilet is just down there and on the right, and like 20 minutes later I can just see her like all the way somewhere else on the other side of this terminal, and I'm like, so I had to say to this woman, I was like, I promise these aren't bombs, please can you just look after our suitcases, and just had to like peg it down the other side. And that was yeah, I mean, it was really simple instructions. It was like there on the right. It wasn't like something super convoluted. And then I think the first part of the holiday there was a certain degree of denial, I guess, about it, in that I wasn't accepting that this is the situation, and I was getting frustrated that I was having to do these things. And I think once you accept that you have to do these things, then actually it's sort of fine. But it's kind of like having a kid around, in that you sort of can't really leave them on their own, and like if we need to go to the toilet, then we need to go to the toilet together. And like, that's not a terrible thing, but it's just, I think to see someone change from what they were before to what they are now is quite, ultimately quite depressing a thing to see. And there was one point, and the Saturday was actually really, really bad. I got really frustrated and like, not at her, but just with the situation. But then ultimately it looks like I'm taking it out on her, and then she doesn't really remember that I've been snippy with her, but she knows something's wrong. So then she's in a really weird mood all day, and she's getting stressed and I'm getting stressed, and I'm thinking to myself, this is just awful. Like I'm having a terrible time right now, and she's having a terrible time, and she doesn't know why she's having a terrible time, because I just can't keep my shit together. And then like the next day I was like, this holiday is for her. It's for her, because actually ultimately if she's happy and I have nice memories of her being happy, that will ultimately make me happy. That's sort of the point. So actually just making sure that she has everything she needs and is doing everything she wants to do is the most important thing. And then I just like chilled out, and it was okay, and we had like a really, really nice time. But it's just wow, it was kind of threw myself in a little bit at the deep end. I don't think I realised how challenging it would be. And I don't know if you guys followed any of my like Insta stories or whatever on it, but there was one morning, like the first morning we got there, we went to like Grand Central Station, and then we went to the New York Public Library, and we sat down, had a cake and a bit of coffee, and we were chatting, and I was just talking about stuff that was going on in my life, and she was asking me questions and like remembering people's names, and it was really, really nice. It felt like a conversation that I would have had with my mum like 2 years ago. And it was like this briefest of moments, this flash of who she used to be. And it was so lovely. Really lovely. Because that's what I've missed. But ultimately, everything that's like a really lovely fucking moment is also then a stark reminder of like what's missing. Anyway. And you know, like a parent leaves a huge hole in your life. Huge hole. I don't care what age you are. I don't care what age you are. It feels the same. It will always be the same. Because it's like your mum and it's your dad, you know. Ugh. Going through this perpetual grieving process for parents who aren't dead yet. It's like been going on like 3.5 years. It needs to stop now. To stop feeling sorry for myself. It's very hard though. Because I think with dad, like dad, I went all in and was like so aware. Oh, terminal cancer. Oh, this is terrible. Spent a whole year feeling awful and feeling terrible and feeling the worst. And then with mum, I was like, no, I don't want to do that because that was awful. And there was so much kind of going on with work and other things happening. It was quite easy to throw myself into that and kind of just sort of ignore it. And I think like going away was good. It was good because you know what, it was a slap in the face, and it was a slap in the face that I needed really to be like, this is actually the situation. You can't just really be avoiding this or pretending like it's not going on, and you do need to come to terms with this because this is the reality of what it's going to be like, and she's not going to get any better. And yes, that's shit, but suck it up a bit. You know, and just make sure she's okay. You know, it's your mum. Like, she's spent her whole life bringing you up and making sure you're all right. I mean, shit, the least I can do is make sure she's happy, whatever that takes during this period. Oh, I just got this horrible feeling something's going to happen with dad now, and it's just going to be like all at the same time. But anyway, also there's literally no point worrying about that, because that's what I did the first year with dad, was just worry all the time, and then you basically like grieve twice. It's not gonna make it any easier when the shit fucking hits the fan, but yeah, anyway, ugh, nose watering. So, as usual, it's a total mixed bag of competing and conflicting emotions in the world of Julia. Some lovely moments, but ultimately some really bloody depressing ones as well. That's quite sweet actually. I did my mum's makeup every day. That was quite sweet. That's a really nice memory, I think, to have. Then I took her to Sephora and made her spend loads of money on makeup. So that she's never going to use it. She's going to have forgot that she bought it, but yeah, that's not the point. Yeah, so in conclusion, it was a really lovely holiday. It was really lovely to spend time with her. I'm super impressed that she agreed to it. I was really worried she was just going to freak out and back out, but she didn't. And then I called her up actually about 2 days afterwards. I was like, oh Mum, did you have a lovely time in New York? And she was like, yes, it was all lovely. So I'm like, good, that's what she's taken away from this whole thing, and so she'll keep repeating that, so that will be the story, you know. She's like, I can see why you live there. And I'm like, just, yeah, I think you just got to let those things go. because I think she was getting so upset that I kept reminding her that she was sick. Imagine if all of a sudden someone kept saying to you, you're really ill, you don't know what you're talking about, you're not eating an apple, you're eating an orange, you're not in America, you're in Canada. Like, if someone just started saying that to you, but you were like, but I'm not, that's an app, what? Obviously you'd be completely belligerent and like, what are you talking about? Because you don't know you're sick. I mean, at least with other diseases and other problems, you're aware that you're ill, so you kind of listen to people. But with this one, you don't know that you're sick, so everyone's just telling you the opposite things that you're thinking, and you're like, but I don't feel ill. I don't feel any different. Oh my God, if that was me, I'd just be intolerable. I'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about, I know, I'm in America, leave me be. It must be, it's gotta be awful. You feel like you're losing your mind because everyone's telling you the opposite thing. But yeah, so I just let most of the things go because there was no point arguing about them. And that way she was a bit happy. Unless it was like a direct question. I'm not gonna lie to her or anything like that, but I think it's just about finding a way that is manageable and not horrendous for everybody, which is a skill within itself, I suppose. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the vlog. As always, a thoroughly mixed bag of emotions from Julia. Oh my God. What do other people vlog about that isn't like their parents like half dying or going insane and having dementia? She's not insane, but yeah. What do normal people talk about? Who knows? I don't have a normal life. I have a really weird one that's fraught with danger and people and occasionally me crying alone in a room to a really small point and shoot camera. So yeah, it's the reality of the life of Julia right now. Just need to accept it and move on. Anyway, thanks for watching the vlog. I need to find more glorious subject matters to talk about that are just like about rainbows and flowers or cupcakes or something. And that's what I do. I talk about cupcakes. Because no one's sad when they have a cupcake. If you're sad when you have a cupcake, you need to see someone like a professional. Because there's something deeply wrong. Tangent.